हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। Welcome back to the fourth class of our Bhagavad Gita learning series. In our previous class, we learnt a few verses together. Verse number 4, 5, 6, 7 and a part of 8. So, verse number 8, we started Bhavan Bhishmascha Karanascha Kripascha Samitinjaya Ashwathama Vikaranascha Saumadatti Stathaivacha. So, here we see Duryodhana is giving a list of their most chivalrous soldiers to the teacher Dronacharya. So, we have studied the introduction of Dronacharya and Bhishma Deva in our previous class. So now the other few names, that is Karna, Krupa, Ashwathama, Vikarna and Saumadatti, we will have a little introduction of these characters. So the first one is Karna. As we all know, Karna was the eldest son of Kunti Devi by Surya Deva. And before her marriage, it happened before the marriage took place with Maharaja Pandu. So as this baby was born to a maiden woman, Kunti Devi was very scared of the society and abandoned the child and floated him in river Ganga. So what happened? The vault in which the baby Karna was placed, it started floating and finally reached Hastinapura, where he was received by a Shudra family. So the names of Karna's foster parents were Adhiratha and Radha. So we see he was blessed with a special rare possession of Kavacha and Kundala, and that is why his name was, initially he has a specific name. I can't remember it right now. It is Vasushena. So we see he was a very valorous person, and in the tricks of archery he was no less than Arjuna. And he was a very close friend of Duryodhana, and Duryodhana placed him in the throne of Angadesha, which is was a part of his kingdom, and that is the reason he was very much obliged and grateful to Duryodhana, and he fought in the battle on the side of Duryodhana in spite of Kunti Devi and Shri Krishna's counseling. It is due to this obligation and gratefulness to Duryodhana. So we see he was an ardent devotee of Surya Deva, that is the demigod, sun god. And he was known as a man of charity. There was no match to him as far as charity was concerned. So even to that extent that one day Indra Deva came in disguise of a Brahmana to him and asked for the kavach and kundala. That was, these were integrated part of his body, but he didn't hesitate to offer them to Indradeva. And Indradeva became very pleased with this, and he blessed him with a special kind of Shakti, that is Veeraghatini Shakti. So this Veeraghatini Shakti Karna used to kill Ghatotkacha. Ghatotkacha was the Bhima's son. So we see after Bhishma Deva's demise, Karna fought the battle as the chief commander of Kaurava army, and then he was killed in the battlefield by Arjuna. This killing is said to be not in favor of the ethics, but according to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna's plan, and definitely it has a specific cause, because though he was a man of charity, but he did many sinful acts in his life under the influence of his crooked friend Duryodhana. So Duryodhana's influence was so much on him. Here we see one thing for us also. It is equally applicable. We see it, we experience it in our lives, that when we are in good association, all the good samskaras within our heart comes out. They come out from the heart. On the contrary, when we are in bad association, that bad association pulls out, brings out all the bad samskaras lying in our heart. So this is the influence of association we see. That is why always we are suggested to be in good association. And moreover, one thing was also there with Karna. He was a victim of false pride. He knew that as far as prowess is concerned, he is no less than Arjuna. So he was quite proud also for this matter. But on the other hand, Arjuna was never like that. Arjuna was a completely devoted soul. So he knew that the power he has is the benediction of the Lord. So there was no question of his pride in this connection. So that's all about Karna in brief. Now Kripacharya. Kripacharya is the son of Maharshi Sharadvan, who was the lineage of Gautama Muni. And he is the brother-in-law of Dronacharya. Kripacharya had a sister named Krupi, who was Dronacharya's wife. So he was a very well versed in Vedas and very virtuous at the same time. He was one of the alive people after the death of all the soldiers of the Kaurava army, and Even he taught archery to the future generation of Pandavas, Parikshit Maharaja. He was the guru of Parikshit Maharaja. So here we see in this verse, Krupascha Samitinjaya. Actually, Samitinjaya, this word is a special adjective for Kripa only, because he was living after the war also, and that is why Samitinjaya is being used here. Samiti means battle, and Jaya means who is always the winner of battles. So he is Samitinjaya. That is why specifically here Samitinjaya adjective is being used for Kripacharya. Then is Ashwathama. Ashwathama we know is the son and disciple of Dronacharya. A very impious and sinful son of the pious and virtuous Dronacharya. It is very sad though, but it is the case. Because Ashwathama very unethically killed all the children of the Pandavas where they were asleep in the time of night, which is completely against the rule of the war. You cannot kill any soldiers involved in the war after the sun is set. That was the rule of the war, but he completely violated it and very violently killed all the sons of the Pandavas. Not only that, he used even the Brahmastras to vanquish the entire Pandava family. As we see, Brahmastra is a special kind of weapon. It is somewhat like today's nuclear weapons, but the difference is this: the nuclear weapon does not know to discriminate between the innocent people and the target, whereas Brahmastra could very well discriminate between the target and the innocent people. So it would never do harm to the innocent people who were not involved in the war, or which is not his target, its target. So Ashwathama threw it to vanquish the entire Pandava family, but definitely Sri Krishna was there to protect them all. So the Pandavas were saved, and then also its last target was Parikshit Maharaja, that is Arjuna's grandson, Abhimanyu's son. That time he was even unborn. He was lying as an embryo in the womb of his mother, Uttara. So there also this Brahmastra tried to kill him. But of course, he was protected by the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna. So anyway, the next name is Vikarna. So Vikarna, among all the siblings of Duryodhana, Vikarna was the only virtuous person. So much so that he was the only person who protested in the assembly where Draupadi was being harassed and insulted. So he was the only person who protested. Then is Saumadatti. Saumadatti was Somadatta's son, and his another name is Bhurishravas. So he was the grandson of Bhalik. Bhalik was the elder brother of Shantanu, that is Bhishma Deva's father. So he was also a very virtuous soul, and he was killed by Satyaki in the battle. Here we see, as we discussed while studying verse 2 and verse number 3 about the diplomatic strategy of Duryodhana. Here also we see in this verse, this shrewd politician Duryodhana's strategic policies are reflected thoroughly in 2 points. In the first, when he utters the name of Dronacharya, Bhavan, that is your venerable self. So before Bhishma Deva also, Bhishma Deva was the chief commander of Kaurava army, But to show off the respect for Dronacharya and to please him, he deliberately uttered Dronacharya's name in the very beginning. And also in the next we see, before his own brother Vikarna's name, he uttered the name of Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama, as we just studied, is the son of Dronacharya. So both he did with the intention to please Dronacharya. Okay, so the next verse, that is verse number 9. Manye cha bahava shura madarthe tyakta jivitah nana shastra praharanaha sarve yuddha visharadaha. Anye, others, cha, also, bahavaha, in great numbers, shuraha, heroes, mat arthe, for my sake, tyakta jivitah, prepared to risk life, nana, many, shastra, weapons, praharanaha, equipped with, sarve, all of them, yuddha visharadaha, experienced in military science. So there are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and all are experienced in military science. So we see it could mean that Duryodhana is thinking in his mind, maybe that I could not utter all the names of the chivalrous soldiers of our army. Maybe the name of Shalya, Jayadratha, they are in his mind. So he said that Anyecha Bahavaha Shura, there are many other valorous warriors in our side also. But due to the shortage of time, I could not utter the names. So this could be the import. The next verse, that is verse 10. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam paryaptam tvidame tesham balam bhimabhirakshitam. Aparyaptam, immeasurable. Tat, that. Asmakam, of ours. Balam, strength. Bhishma, by grandfather Bhishma. Abhirakshitam, perfectly protected. Paryaptam, limited. Tu, but. Idam, all this. Etesham, of the Pandavas. Balam, strength. Bhima, by Bhima. Abhirakshitam, carefully protected. So Paryaptam tad asmakam balam bhishma abhirakshitam paryaptam tvidam etesham balam bhima abhirakshitam, which means our strength is immeasurable, unlimited, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma Deva, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. So here we see the comparative analysis of the prowess of Bhishma Deva and Bhima is clear from Duryodhana's uttering. Like Duryodhana's intention is somehow like this, to utter these sentences. That is, our army is protected by Bhishma Deva. So Bhishma Deva is a very well-known personality. He is a very powerful, very skilled, very virtuous, very honest. So in all sense, he is a man who are remembered with great awe and veneration. Whereas Bhima is no match to Bhishma Deva. He is a fickle-minded person. Moreover, the strength of the armies, Kaurava armies and Pandava armies, that is also there in Duryodhana's mind. That is, Kaurava army possessed 11 Akshauhinis. Akshauhinis means a particular set of soldiers, a specific format. That is, Akshauhini consists of 21,870 chariots, as many elephants, 65,610 horses, and 1,09,350 foot soldiers is one Akshauhini. So that kind of 11 Akshauhinis the Kauravas had, whereas Pandavas had only 7 Akshauhinis. So another reason is also there to underestimate Bhima externally, although in his mind he knew how powerful Bhima was. As far as physical strength is concerned, not about the tricks of archery or so on, because if we talk about the tricks of archery, then definitely there is no match to Arjuna. But physical strength, Bhima was physically very strong, so as Duryodhana. So though Duryodhana was very confident about his victory in the battle, and he said in many places also, we see in Bhishma Parva of Mahabharata. But here, Duryodhana was thinking that though the chance is very low, but if I really die by any means in this battle, so definitely Bhima will be the person who is going to kill me. So that kind of a thought also there in Duryodhana's mind. And moreover, he was very envious because he was physically very strong, Bhima. So Duryodhana was very envious of Bhima also. So that is why his utterance was a reflection of his thoughts in this connection. Okay, so the next verse, that is verse number 11, we will now move on to. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagamavastitah bhishmamevabhirakshantu bhavantah sarva eva hi. So ayaneshu, the different strategic points or different directions also we can say. Cha also, however, sarveshu everywhere, yatha bhagam as differently arranged, avastitah situated, bhishmam unto grandfather Bhishma, eva certainly, abhirakshantu should give support, bhavantah you, sarve all respectively, eva hi certainly. So all of you must now give full support to Bhishma Deva as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. So in the battle formation we see the commander-in-chief is used to remain in the center. The other commanders, according to their positions or ranks, were placed in various positions. So these positions are called ayanas, ayaneshu, ayanas. And this indicates different directions also, like east, west, south, north, etc. So the idea is, when the commander-in-chief is protected, then everything will fall in place. So that chief commander is always very much involved, engrossed in the war. So there is it is not possible for him to take care of everything. So that is why it is the responsibility of the other commanders to take care of the chief commander as well as the entire position, the position of all the soldiers respectively. So here we see Bhishma Deva being the eldest and the most intelligent, and the confidence also was very much there on Bhishma Deva from Duryodhana's side. And this confidence also increased after he became successful to deprive the Pandavas, and at the last insulting Draupadi in the court. And Bhishma Deva also didn't protest. So Duryodhana's confidence increased a lot on Bhishma Deva, because he then understood that what Bhishma Deva had a vow of taking care of the person who will be enthroned, as he committed to his father. He will take care of him and he will serve him, the king who will be enthroned on the throne of Hastinapura. So that he did all his life, and that commitment also, Duryodhana knew this commitment, this vow of Bhishma Deva, and moreover he saw the necessary activities also to keep this vow intact from the side of Bhishma Deva. So the confidence grew. So that is also another reason that he wanted to protect Bhishma Deva from all respect. And there is another reason behind it also. A short story is also there associated with this. There was a soldier named Shikhandi in Pandava army. This Shikhandi was the brother of Draupadi and Drishtadyumna. Actually, he is the first child of King Drupada. King Drupada was an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva, and he performed severe austerities to have a child. And by the blessings of Lord Shiva, he received this child, Shikhandi, who was born as a female child. But as he wanted a male child, so he became a little disappointed. So he expressed that also to Lord Shiva. And then Lord Shiva said that due to your severe austerities, I am very happy and I blessed you with this child. So it is my promise that though it is born as a female child, but in his later life, he will be a male child. He will be converted to a male child. So as King Drupada had unwavering faith for Lord Shiva, so he believed it, and he never told this to anybody that he had received a female child. Instead, this baby was always dressed as a boy, and as he grew up, he was wedded to a princess also. So he was married. I mean, she that time Shikhandi was she. So she was married to the princess of Dasharana, who was the daughter of Hiranyavarma. So as this princess came, so she understood that she was married to a female. So she reported it to her father, Hiranyavarma. Hiranyavarma became very much angry because he felt very insulted and cheated. So he was planning to attack Drupada's kingdom. So after knowing this, Shikhandi became very depressed, and she left home and went to the forest. There Shikhandi met a yaksha, and his name was Karna. So this yaksha had a power, and he exchanged the gender with this Shikhandi. So Shikhandi became a male now, and came back to the palace, to Shikhandi's father's palace, that is Drupada's palace. And so it was then proved that it is a male child. So Drupada was saved from the attack of Hiranyavarma, and everything was fine. Meanwhile, what happened? This yaksha was cursed by the yaksha king Kubera, and he had to remain all his life, though this gender exchange was temporary. That time in the forest, the deal was for a temporary period of time, but due to the curse of the female, and that is why Shikhandi, who became a male at that point of time, so he could live his life as a male only. But Bhishma Deva, knowing this fact from the very beginning, he could never accept this Shikhandi as a male. So he promised that in this battle I am not going to take my weapon against this Shikhandi. So Duryodhana also knew it. So he was very aware of this fact also, that by no way Shikhandi should be permitted to come in close contact with Bhishma Deva, because in that case he might be in danger. And it happened also. When Arjuna killed Bhishma Deva, he kept Shikhandi in forefront. Anyway, so with this, now we have to end today's session. So we started till verse number 11 today. In our next class, we will move on to verse 12. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे,